Harley here, and I got yet another politically motivated video to vlog to kick out at you guys here. Yesterday, I talked about my issues with Twitter, me being suspended for essentially no reason here, and there's actually another thing that got to go on, a very important thing that's really affecting kind of the world here. And because of technology, it's very much technology driven, and all the other news going on in Washington D.C. regarding Trump and everything else here in Supreme Court stuff and the UN, all that good stuff. It's overshadowed, but it's extremely important here. I did mention about this in a quick, brief post on Facebook over the weekend. It's pretty cryptic. I don't think anybody really understands it, and it is quite a bit for me to try to understand too, even though even with my technical background. So, anyways, what's kind of going on here, and I'm going to try to break it down as simply as I can for you folks to understand, because it is going to affect you probably. In, excuse me, in one way, shape, or form here. Anyway, like I say, the Linux kernel is adopted a code of conduct policies, and this technology could affect the world. What's going to happen here could resonate across the world because of what Linux is involved with. So let me kind of jump in real quick here. I'm going to kind of shoot from the hip real fast. This is probably the best text I can get, and I'll explain it in more in layman's terms here a little bit here. Basically, from slash.org, following Linux. This is from their website. Following Linus Torvalds' public apology for his behavior over the years, the Linux community said it would be adopting a new code of conduct with pledges to make participation in our projects and our community a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of age, body, size, disability, ethnicity, sex characteristics, gender identity and expression, level of experience, education, socioeconomic status, nationality, personal appearance, race, religion, or sexual identity and orientation. That's kind of the best, raw definition I could find to explain what's going on here. Now, let me kind of explain in more plain English here. First of all, why should this involve you? Why should this matter to you at all? Okay. Well, it's because Linux here is a major operating system that runs a lot of stuff you probably don't realize is running. A large chunk of the websites out there is run on Linux servers. Linux is also the foundation of Android, which is the largest smartphone. The more smartphones are run on Android than anything else. Also, it's an operating system for many smart appliances, a lot of cash registers, a lot of medical recording records, a lot of medical related equipment, and a lot of large businesses, industries are reliant on Linux. So it is around you. You probably didn't realize. So anything that would affect this operating system would very likely affect you in some way, shape, or form. So all of us, not just you, but me as well. So, and so what's going on here, and I'm going to get further and further. I'm going to get the cop bounce around a little bit here. Let me show you. This is what, bear with me. Linux is what's called, one of the popular Linux is it's open source. Lots of people contribute to build Linux. So thousands of programmers around the world go in here and contribute their little bit, either a little bit or a lot to this to make Linux as it is. And it's been, it's not perfect, but it works very well. It's worked so well for 10, 20 years, about 20 years, something like that, that Linux is as it is. It is the backbone of a lot of our internet, the backbone of a lot of stuff we do here. This is kind of how the open source community, the Git community, receives messages, and it looks pretty cryptic, and it is okay. I want to get into here the covenant here. In the interest of fostering an open and welcoming environment, we as contributors and maintainers pledge to make participation around our projects, our community, a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of age, size, disability, ethnicity, sex. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead here. Our standard examples of behavior that contributes to creating a positive environment, usually welcoming, inclusive language, being respectful of differing views and experiences, gracefully accepting constructive criticism, focusing on what is best for the community, showing empathy towards other community members. Unacceptable behavior participants include use of sexualized language or imagery and unwelcome sexual attention or advances, trolling, insulting, derogatory comments, and personal political attacks, public or private harassment, publishing others' private information such as physical or electronic address without explicit permission, other conduct which could reasonably be considered inappropriate in a professional setting. Our responsibilities. This is from the Code of Conduct people. Maintainers. These people are they're going to be assigned to uphold these rules. Maintainers are responsible for clarifying the standards of acceptable behavior and are expected to take appropriate and fair corrective action in response to any instance of unacceptable behavior. Maintainers have the right and responsibility to remove, edit, or reject comments, code, wiki edits, issues, and other contributions that are not aligned to this code of conduct, or to ban temporarily or permanently any contributor for other behaviors that they deem inappropriate, threatening, offensive, or harmful. Okay, I can go on and on here, but I'm hoping you folks start seeing here. This is pretty brash stuff here. All of a sudden, let me kind of explain a little bit further from my perspective as a programmer for a very, very, very long time here. And this is a complete bombshell to the Linux community here. Linus Torvalds all of a sudden out of nowhere felt bad for himself and decided to kind of take a break from Linux, and all of a sudden this rolls in. Okay, and really, these folks here are trying to fix a problem that wasn't there, or it wasn't there in the first place, and they're coming with a solution to fix a problem that isn't there. Okay, this is ramrodding policies and procedures into a society, a system that is absolutely not necessary. They're claiming that these people, and we're going to get a step further here, the conspirators of this stuff, where they're claiming that there is discrimination amongst coders and programmers and explicit language, so on and so forth. Reality is, most of us programmers, we rarely see each other anymore, let alone make sexual innuendos. Basically, we submit code and comment and stuff like that. But there's nothing that we don't. This is not Fight Club, okay? So this is just blows my mind away amongst many of my peers here. So anyway, so let me kind of back up a little bit, give a little analogy in the real world about this. In fact, I'm going to use an example here. I got a friend of mine who is in this club, that GMCLA, Gay Men's Choir, Los Angeles. I'm going to use an example here. Now, I myself, as a heterosexual man, I don't sing. Okay, but basically, let's imagine that I went to this one choir, and I decided they brought me in here to try to make up some rules, whatever, and how to run a choir, even though I got no idea what I'm doing. So I go here and do this stuff here, and then, it's not working out, so they fire me. So I get a little pissy about this. I decided to go to GMCLA and run up a ruckus here. I want to join GMCLA, and because I'm not, but because there's so much pushback, because I'm a heterosexual person who can't sing, they're not letting me in. But I'm declaring it is racism, it is bigotry, it is whatever. And all of a sudden, the conductor, but let's back up a little bit here. GMCLA does fantastic work. They are fantastic to watch. I love hearing them. I love hearing my friend in them. It is an honor to watch these guys sing. Okay? But let's imagine here that all this stuff is happening hypothetically here. And all of a sudden the conductor, I'm not sure who the person in front is called, but that person decides he's gonna take a vacation and put me in charge. And I decide, well, you know what? We're going to make all these rules that the heterosexual man or women or whatever we're going to be able to join GMCLA. And on top of that, if you people who are currently in GMCLA have an issue with that, you better keep it to yourself. Because we hear anything about that, we're going to take it to the maintainers, okay? And these maintainers are probably comprised of a bunch of people like me who have no idea what they're doing, but they're going to enforce these rules on you. And they're going to dictate whether you are hand slapped or kicked out of the choir. Okay? Now, let's imagine if that happened here and you are a member of GMCLA. You'll probably be pissed at me, and for good reason. Okay? I have no business trying to running a choir, okay? And you and your buddies would have every right to say, you know what, screw this, we're leaving. Okay, we're going to make our own little thing over there. And that is more or less what's happening right now, and very rapidly. All this stuff has been transpired over about a week and a half. It's happening fairly quick, okay? So all this, like I say, let's imagine that the Linux kernel here, which we're talking about, is the choir. And that's basically what happened. You got a lot of these people that have been contributing a lot of time and effort building Linux up to what it is. Dealing with safety issues, dealing with updates, upgrades, new technology, changes in technology, bugs, so on and so forth. And we're doing in relatively harmonious environment here. There's no issue. There really should not. Social issues should not be a factor. This is a raw. Your code works or your code does not work. Okay, it has nothing to do with sex, has nothing to do with your sexual preference, has nothing to do with your color of your skin, has nothing to do with anything but whether or not your code works. And that's how it's been for a long time. Okay, now all of a sudden we have these code and conduct stuff here. Now, a lot of you folks here might be thinking, well, maybe I'm being a little prejudiced about this and I'm not being fair. And let's talk about this a little bit further here. This is the code of conduct for open source. They're this organization here. And I want to just kind of skim through this here. I'll leave these links to these pages and other places here. But anyway, open source has always been, let me read real quick. Open source has always been a foundation of the internet, and with the advent of social open source networks, there's more true than ever before. But free, libre, and open source projects suffer from a startling lack of diversity with dramatically low representation by women, people of color, and other marginalized populations. Let's go further here. I'm going to get that. So anyway, part of the problem lies in the very structure of some projects. The use of insensitive language, thoughtless use of pronouns, assumption of gender, and even sexualized or culturalized insensitive names. Marginalized people are also suffer from unintended consequences of dogmatic insistence on meritocratic principles of governance. Studies show that organizational cultures have valued meritocracy. Basically, what meritocracy is you earn your status based on your merit, based on what you've done, what you accomplished. Often, and their claim is often result in great inequality. People with merit often excused for their bad behavior in public spaces based on the value of their technical contributions. Meritocracy also naively assumes a level playing field in which everyone has access to the same resources, free time, and common life experience to draw upon. These factors and more make contributing to open source a daunting prospect for many people, especially women and other underrepresented people. So anyway, I'm going to cut it off right there, and you can see the flavor of this code of conduct here. They want to abolish the meritocracy, or if you're good at coding, then you get the pat on the back. If you're bad at coding, you get yelled at. Okay? They're claiming because this meritocracy here is why women and minorities are not advancing in this field. That is completely bullshit. Okay? There's nothing stopping women. Now, granted, there's not many women in this field. Okay? But there's nothing stopping women from advancing this field or going anywhere they want. Most of us are very anonymous as it is. We don't know we don't see each other We're in those little dark, work in the middle of the night in our underwear, coding and coding. We don't. It doesn't matter whether you're a man or woman or a giraffe or a goat. So long as it comes down to is your code. In fact, most of all of us appreciate the anonymity we have. You don't know who who the other person is. So anyway, how all this is really getting kicked in here, I'm going to bring up this is lady here, Coraline Ada Emke. I'm going to hash her name here. By the way, too, I'm going to be up front here. Because of what's going on here, I am deliberately violating the Linux kernel's code of conduct, even though I'm not involved with the project. I'm pretty sure, based on this particular this video, this vlog here, I am violating this because I'm going to be very direct about my opinions of Coraline Ada Emke here. Anyway, her background is she's a programmer, and apparently she's pretty good at a language called Ruby on Rails, which is a language utilized for servers. So apparently she had been working for another company. For life, I forget which one it was, to come out with these code of conduct things. Apparently, and from what I understand, this is second-hand information, they let her go. I'm not exactly sure why. From what I've been told through my grapevine, my sources here, it was not a pleasant experience. So therefore, she has apparently taken some type of personal vendetta against white males who are programmers. Let me add something else here too. Coraline here is a transsexual. She's a male to woman transsexual. She's now a woman, used to be a man. And what I find ironic here is now she hates men. That is a little bit ironic on my end here. So anyway, you can see here in her tweet, okay, 40,000 open source projects, including Linux, Rails, Golang, blah, 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 have adopted my code of conduct. You can make me have a bad day, but it doesn't change the fact that we have won and you have lost. Most people in this Linux community didn't realize there was a game going on or a war going on, but apparently there was. And Coraline has apparently won. In fact, this goes a step further. Here's something that's one. Can somebody fill me in who had won? Don't get me wrong, I like the new COC, but kind of strange to say we won over such. Here's here. Before my work started, open source projects didn't have code of conduct. Now it's a norm. That's a major win. So apparently she has this chip on her shoulder that she has to win something against these other programmers. So she has to force her code of conduct upon everybody else. And you can see in black and white here. Let me kind of skim through here. Some of her tweets here. I can't wait to see for the max exodus from Linux now that it's been infiltrated by SJWs. Ha 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 ha. Here's some people are saying the contributor covenant, which is her document here, is a political document, and they're right. So anyway, so this is the person that's masterminding this whole thing, the spearheading of this whole movement here. And I'm hoping you're saying, and let me get from her perspective here. And by the way, here too, I'm going to get into this a little bit here. You can see I have a bunch of open tabs here regarding specifically what's going on with this Linux code of conduct thing here. And I'm going to show you something that's been going on. So from a programmer's perspective of what's going on here, it's pretty scary. Okay. Let's imagine, a lot of these programs have been going for a very long time, years and years and years, building the stuff up. It is open source. They don't get paid for it. However, the programmers get to retain the copyright. Bear with me a little bit. I got a little bit of cold going on. The coders get to retain the copyright. Okay, so they own the code. But however, they contribute again. So it is the graciousness of these good programmers to do what they're doing. And a lot of them have been doing it for a long time. They are the best at at their particular skill set. So that's why they're there. Okay. Now, Corleen and her miners, what they're called. I'm sorry. Let me go bring that back up again. Her maintainers. I'm sorry. Now, Corleen and her maintainers get to dictate whether that person or all these other people can continue coding on the Linux kernel. Okay, and you have to be a good boy. You cannot discriminate against transsexuals, gays, homosexuals, so on and so forth. They're gonna screen your social networking stuff for years gone by. If you've done something a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years ago that they don't like, they can kick you out. Okay. So this is very concerning. A lot of people had donated their time to do this. Okay. And all of a sudden now they got rules that they can't do this anymore. And these people have little or no knowledge of how to program, get to dictate how you do what they get to do. Okay. I don't, I should bring up the definition of fascism, because that's being thrown out a lot by a lot of liberals here. This is it. You got a small group of people that don't know what the hell they're doing, dictating what other people are doing, dictating their lives, dictating what things are happening here. Okay, so anyway, so that's what's going on right now, and a lot of programmers, and this is moving very, very quickly because of the technology here. Right, so a lot of these coders go, you know what? This is dangerous. Okay, we got nothing against the transsexuals and all that stuff here, but the way these people are dictating what's going to happen here, they can kick us out. What recourse do we have? And they do have a recourse. I'm going to bring this up here. This is an email that's been going around. Let's revamp it. Regarding those who are ejected from the Linux kernel community after this COC, contributors can, at any time, rescind the license grant regarding their property via written notice to those whom they are rescinding the grant from, regarding the property code. The GPL version 2.0 lacks no rescission clause. I'll just jump ahead here. Such a clause attempted to furnish defendants with a estoppel defense. Linux kernel license under version 2, however, are as a past country. Basically, what this says here is if you have code inside the Linux kernel, you can yank it out. It's your code. Okay, so what this means here, let's imagine, I use another analogy like a car. Okay, let's imagine that Linux is a car, and all these programmers had contributed to build this car up. Okay, to make this car, somebody made the code to create the nuts and the lug nuts, and Simon made the wheels, and then the interior, and a button, and the engine, and the bumper, and the steering wheel, and thousands of people have put this together, make a very good car. And it's been used all over the world for a lot of different purposes. People are using, didn't realize they're using this car all the time. Now, this thing, the code of conduct comes around and it says, you person who had designed the steering wheel, we're going to kick you out because we don't like you, basically. Okay, so the guy's going, okay, I'm going to take my code with me. So it goes steering wheel. And now these minders come around and says, you, the person who created, who programmed the radio, we're going to kick you out because we don't like you either. So he takes his radio away. And then now these same minders says, you know what, we can replace all of you. We can replace all of you. We don't need you anymore. And they've said that blatantly. And this stuff is already happening now. Within 2 days of implementing the code of conduct, they're already going after people, already going after programmers that have been contributing to the Linux system here. And it's apparent this is a war, an inadvertent war against heterosexual programmers, male programmers, and we don't know. I honestly didn't realize this was going on until about 2 weeks ago. This is crazy stuff. And so anyway, back to the car thing. So all of a sudden, key components of this car is being removed because these other people don't like you or think you are a you are biased against transsexuals or gays or whatever. Okay, so all these people start pulling the code out, and all of a sudden there's not enough parts to make the car move. All of a sudden you have a whole bunch of a pile of rubbish there. Now these other people that said we're going to replace you with other programmers, train them. A lot of these programmers that are being targeted, they're the only ones that know how to do that. That's why they're brought into this project. You can train somebody to look at the code and maintain it, but you can't train somebody to after years and years and years of maintaining, upgrading it to keep it more updated. Okay? So, and on top of that, now you're kicking these people out. You're creating an enemy out of somebody who's been for years been protecting that code and protecting the community and protecting the users against the bad people. Okay, hackers and stuff like that. A lot of these people, the security has been a big issue with Linux and all this stuff. And these people contributed to make sure you don't get hacked. Okay, your Android phones get hacked. Now, let's go a step further. Now these people are getting kicked out. The miners made an enemy out of the people who are experts at this code. The miners bring in these people who are at best mediocre to take over. Okay. These other coders come around and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and let this hole here that I know of kind of go out there in the dark web, for lack of better terms. Okay, and all of a sudden we got a big mess. Okay, we got a big security mess, and the people that are maintaining the code, less the experts been around for years. They don't have the capacity to deal with it. This whole thing falls apart. Your Android phone that you have is all of a sudden becomes a security breach. Hope to God you don't have any naked pictures on there. Okay, of you, or your girlfriend, or your mistress, whatever, you know, or your phone calls are going to be hacked and stuff like that. Now, God forbid the Chinese get a hold of this stuff. Oh boy. So, anyway, I'm gonna dig. I think I got a few more things to show you folks here. Here, basic. Oh, here it is. Little track letter here. This is the comment against the code of content. Able to reject code based on not liking someone will turn FOSS, which is the system Linux here, into shit. This retarded completely misses the point of FOSS. Your gender never mattered. Neither did your skin color. It doesn't matter what upbringing you came from with. It's all about code and fighting privatized software that could impact the world and how we interact with each other. Now, any of these assholes, I'm sorry for the language for you reading here, have the power to just exclude people from political views. It's absolutely hypocritical. Now, here's something else is going to happen too. I guess there could be light in the tunnel here. In true FOSS fashion, they will fork the code, and I'll explain that a little bit. And the serious developers will migrate to the new fork. All ones will wither and die. And they're wondering if this is Linux's plan here. Because it's weird how Linus Torvalds kind of all of a sudden decides I want to take a vacation. What forking means is they'll take the code where it's at, okay, and decide to take their code and go in a different direction, okay. Whereas the organization with the primary code is going to keep on going with what they got. These forking. If you ever did cryptocurrency, you see that a lot in cryptocurrencies. Okay, so basically it's the same thing, but with code. Okay, so not all is lost to this thing here. There is a way to deal with this thing by sheer nature of how things happen here. So it is not complete doom and gloom. However, the set of events that created this problem didn't have to happen. It did not have to happen. Okay. Let's see, I've got something else here. This is Linus Torvalds. I think that's... Okay, this is the Fedora document. I got code of conduct here. Let me wrap this up and kind of tell you guys, summarize what's going on here. Okay? Here's a good one. After Linux Foundation board member passed a new code of conduct, it sparked outrage and many criticism among the FOSS community. The code of conduct, now referred as COC, is full of buzzwords and vague language that could give vocal groups the power to suppress other developers. It drives the development hierarchy away from the meritocracy and inserts political into development and administrative decisions. The COC aims to promote unity in its underlying message, but it will only lead to division. And that is so true. Okay? There was not an issue before. Now these folks that are part of the Code of Conduct organization foundation, this lady here, okay, Miss Coraline here, who obviously has an issue with heterosexual men, her and her gang is disrupting. Now, let me add something here too. This is the first major public open source project that this Coraline had inserted her code of conduct in. She has apparently been involved. You can see Apple, Google, all the good stuff here. Adopted the code of conduct, and you see all these 40,000 open source. Most of these projects are very, very small. Okay, some are large enough that already been around long enough. There's already been an impact. There is I think a PBSD board. I forget which one it was. When this was implemented, they already their minders and their stuff had enough time to kind of get this thing in a full circle. What's left of the developers is a skeleton of what it used to be. There's no movement at all regarding any advancement for this particular project. And the developers that had been working on that project for years have gone to something else. What's left are basically a bunch of transsexuals that can't program. So that's what's going to happen. So in summarizing here, what's happening here is, like I said, a major operating system that you guys don't realize is a part of your life is being disrupted by social justice warriors. Okay, they created a problem that wasn't there before and tried to fix a problem with their opinions. Okay. The people who were working to keep your Android safe, your website safe, so on and so forth, for years, basically for free for the most part, they're going to be targeted to be ejected for this particular project. So people who have the experience to maintain and update this operating system we all use are going to be kicked out, and all that's going to be left are people who are at the likes of Coraline. Okay, transsexuals, women, gay, whatever. And the more important thing, it doesn't matter what the sexual preference is. The fact is, they probably don't know how to program. Okay, they're brought in this project because of the feelings, not because of their abilities. And you can see this is a very prevalent with Miss Coraline's opinions here. She does not like meritorious advancement. You have to be it should be a nice and happy, humble family here. Everybody gets along. If you don't get along, they should be kicked out. Okay, so that's going on. How this community, this coding community, development community is reacting here is they are implementing what a lot of people are referring to as the kill switch, the death button, whatever. I've heard a couple of things mentioned about that, but they're about ready. They're ready to take their code and go someplace else. The hope is there are thanks for this being open source. Thanks to a lot of people out there, not all is lost. It's going to be certainly good, potentially disrupt the current technology for a little bit, but somehow, some way, this will branch off and things will be better. My prediction is Linux as we know it is one or two things going to happen. Either Miss Coraline backs off, we become nice and happy people and get along. Okay, maybe we could adopt part of some of her some of her code of conduct. It might not be all that bad. Okay, give it a chance here, but based on her history, as you've seen here, as I show you here, she's not going to back off. This is her personal vendetta to get back at people. Okay. However, hypothetically, in a perfect world, she backs off a little bit. the current developers, long-time developers get along, things happen, and we keep on moving. If not, there's probably going to be a fork, and developers who've been working on this project are going to go one direction, and Miss Corleen and her friends are going to go a different direction. And the world's going to decide which one's going to be the primary Linux kernel after that. So how this will affect you is probably most directly is if you have Android phones. There could potentially be an issue with security if certain people are let go from the Linux kernel. There are some people, and let me back up a little bit and add my resume to this thing here. I've been programming since I was 11 years old, so about 10 years longer than this Corleen here. I do process control programming. I do assembly language programming. I'll be blunt to say I'm probably pretty far ahead of Miss Corleen. What she does, I can figure out and do. What I do, she's going to have a hard time with what I do. So I'm going to say that I'm probably more advanced with her in many aspects. There's people out there that's working on Linux that are much, much more advanced than me. Okay, those people are gonna go someplace else and leave this particular project behind in the dust, and be up to Miss Corleen as the best programmer in this whole system here, who is at best mediocre compared to other folks. Is gonna maintain this this project, which runs a large portion of the world's technology. So pretty scary if you put it that way. And a lot of it's going to wait and see. A lot of stuff has happened in the past 2 weeks. Maybe things will die down a little bit and things will be okay. But history has dictated a couple different ways. Basically, on the history of Miss Corleen here, it might not go very well. And so you folks out there should be aware of this. And on my end of it, I'll keep people as well abreast of this as I possibly can. This certainly obviously got my attention, and I hope it got some of you folks' attention out there too. And I probably it's my duty, whatever, to kind of break this down, very technical stuff down to layman's terms so everybody else can understand, and keep everybody abreast. So anyway, I think close up for now. I want to thank you folks for listening on and stuff like that. I know if you're still listening, I appreciate that. It is a lot of technology, a lot of confusing stuff out there I just described. But I hope you understand what's going on. Before I end this here, I want to make sure, I'm sure Ms. Corleen will find me one way or the other here. I have no ill will against her or her friends or associates, but I strongly believe what she is doing is wrong. Okay, she is forcing a problem that was not there, into a system that was not there before, and coming up with her own solution. And this is her own vendetta. From my opinion, this looks like it's your own vendetta against something that happened to you in the past. And I apologize for whatever happened, but somewhere down the line, I think you'll have to take responsibility for whatever happened as well. So I wish you good luck and bid you good luck on all this stuff for you. And I commend you on your efforts so far. But I don't think your efforts are going in the right direction to be conducive with the rest of society. So that said, I'm pretty sure that I have violated the code of conduct, and I'm not going to be invited to your group. So, and that's okay. That is your decision to make, I guess, for now. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you folks for listening and watching and all that good stuff. And I'll keep you guys in touch with all the things I'm doing here and go from there. So, well, good luck and Godspeed to your success, and we'll talk to you later.